On? Good morning, everyone. Yes, I wanted to have that sound like it's a good morning, isn't it? And we're here for a great reason. And so I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the Shortwood Teachers College 140th Anniversary Committee. Can I say that? Wow, 140 years, that's a blessing. And so this year we are embracing the legacy, repositioning for the future. I could not be here this morning. My mom is a Shortwoodite. Yes. And a little bit later, I'll share with you very briefly of just how important Shortwood was to her and just changing the course of her life. And I feel like without Shortwood, where would I be? Where would I be? And so I'm grateful to Shortwood and the legacy that we are embracing today. Before we get into the program and I do the official welcome on my protocol list, I'm going to ask you all to stand for me for the playing of the national anthem of Jamaica.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of Jamaica's national anthem.
Thank you. You may be seated. That last note seemed like it was never going to end. One of the most beautiful anthems in the world. And we get ready to hear it more and more in Tokyo. Yes. So good morning to everyone. On behalf of the Shortwood Teachers College, it is my distinct honor to welcome you to this historic occasion, the media launch of our 140th anniversary celebrations under the theme, Embracing the Legacy, Repositioning for the Future. We're delighted to have with us some very distinguished guests, members of the college board, our alumni, staff, students, partners, members of the media, friends of Shortwood, because today we gather not just to celebrate the past, but to chart a vibrant future. So I want to go through my protocol list, and I know it is customary that even though the MC goes through the list, that all speakers feel with respect that they must as well, but I'm going to forgive you this morning if you don't. So I'm going to go through the extensive list on your behalf and make sure everyone who is here feels welcomed, so we don't have to welcome them 5 times, right? Can I get an amen? I love it. So we will start with our beautiful Minister of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, Dr. Dana Morris Dixon. The patron for 140th anniversary, Cabinet Secretary, Permanent Secretary, Head of the Public Service, I call her Super PS, the Honorable Audrey Sewell, OJCD, JP. And if the Super PS says I can do the list one time, then it's done. We have the board chairman with us, Mr. Grantley Stevenson. My very good friend and principal, Miss Nadine Malloy. Super principal. Board members are with us, Mrs. Claudette Chin and Mrs. Sophia Preston Williams, probably running around trying to get things done. Mr. Robert Gibbs, who is chair of the Finance Committee, one of the most important committees in any board. We have Dr. Melissa Gale, who is the academic staff representative to the Board of Management. Dr. Garth Anderson, Dean from the Teachers Colleges of Jamaica. Mrs. Renee Williams Brown from the Ministry of Education. Is our JTA president here? Yes, he is. I mispronounce his name every opportunity I get. But today I'm going to say Mr. Mark Malva. I got that right. The Deputy Secretary General, Mr. Clayton Hall. President of the Shortwood Alumni Association, Mrs. Elaine Rolston. And former principal of the Shortwood Teachers College, Dr. Dawkins. All right. I still have a list going. Mrs. Elaine Foster Allen, former principal, is here. Dr. Audrey Carodas, former VP. Professor Carmel Roof, Director, School of Education. Professor Zoya Kincaid Clark, Deputy Dean, Graduate Studies. Mrs. Tankita Chance Wilson, Executive Director for Barita Foundation. Mrs. Michelle Tracy, Assistant General Manager from First Heritage Cooperative. Mr. Cecil Donald from Guys Hill High School. Other principals, Mr. Stellavit Ingram, Mrs. Winsome Francis, and Dr. Donald Hawthorne. We have some more, I'll name them later on, but moving the program along, I invite our chairman, Mr. Grantley Stevenson, to bring greetings on behalf of the board. Please make him feel welcome.
Of successive leaders and team members. The fact that you're still around for 140 years is a signal of longevity, resilience, and your continued relevance to our changing society. The anniversary theme, Embracing the Legacy, Repositioning for the Future, is not just a reflection of the stellar journey you have been on as an institution, but also a call to action to continue to evolve and grow to meet the emerging challenges and opportunities of the 21st century and beyond. Your legacy is a great one that has seen you through many changes. Since the establishment in 1885, the college has stood as a beacon of enlightenment, benefiting generations of teachers and their students. The graduates shine brightly in classrooms, in business, in administration, government, science, and many other fields and disciplines. Institutionally, the college has grown and expanded throughout its history, including the addition of many programs and departments over the years. In addition to impacting the teaching landscape, this college continues to establish itself as a regional leader in educational research, development, and innovation. However, all agree that much work needs to be done. To reposition and thrive over the next century, Shortwood has to continue to do what it does best, grow, and innovate. The college has never been one to rest on its laurels, and under the leadership of Ms. Malloy, it will not break that trend. Ms. Malloy has made a good start. Last year, she held a successful strategic retreat for the team, in which they discussed plans to chart the way forward and sharpen the college's competitive edge in an increasingly dynamic tertiary education marketplace. Evidence-based planning and development will continue to drive the college. Many studies have been done to identify global trends to determine the careers of the future. This information helps colleges to decide how we train, what do we train for, and how we become more responsive to the needs of the marketplace and used as an instrument to solve labor market issues. I encourage the college to continue to keep abreast of our labor market trends and to study and implement recommendations from documents such as the Pattison Report, reports from the International Labor Organizations, Jamaica's Vision 2030, and other local and international labor market strategic documents. The Pattison Report suggests shifts in the philosophy of teaching to a more learner-centered approach that integrates students into our own learning. It also recommends expansion in the curriculum away from just the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, to embrace STEAM projects, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. This is already happening all across Jamaica. To reposition one of the future, we have to devise ways to stand out in the face of the massive competition locally and globally. How can we utilize technology to make teaching and learning more convenient, yet effective? Technology integration in the classroom should not just be the current way. It will remain the way of the future for years to come. The prevalence of online and distance learning and educational platforms have given Shortwood competition from at home and abroad. Full technology integration in our classrooms will provide both access, boost the quality of instruction, and make us more attractive. I am pleased that Ms. Malloy and the team are cognizant of this and are already on that path to the technological transformation of the college. The last thing I want to leave you with is that we must continue to emphasize soft skills in our teachers. This will equip our teachers better to address the social and emotional challenges facing students, which is a reality in our modern society. Yes, there are child guidance clinics, guidance counselors, and other mechanisms, but we need to train our teachers to be first responders in the classroom. They need to know how to safely resolve conflict, show empathy, and spot a child that is experiencing various forms of abuse to facilitate the necessary interventions and make the necessary reports to the authorities. In fact, the Child Care and Prevention Act places a lot of responsibilities on teachers to report such matters. The Shortwood of the future is one that helps Jamaica to achieve its Vision 2030 goal and making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. As a college, Shortwood has a great legacy, but protecting that legacy requires continuous growth and development to consolidate these gains. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of representatives from the Caribbean School of Medical Sciences, Jamaica, Dr. Neville Ballin, President and Principal, Dr. Neville Graham, Founder, and Miss Daniel Hyde, Registrar. It's a media launch, and so we have to also acknowledge the presence of my media colleagues who are with me. I see PBCJ, Arthur Wadsworth is here from The Observer, Cassius Watson, STC Social Media. Put your hands together for the media for us. And I feel the louder the applause, the more the promotion will be for us. So can we do it one more time so they feel welcome? Thank you so much. Wow, I was sitting there listening to the chairman, you know, and I said, I don't know if there is another profession that has to be so dynamic and so flexible as teaching. Because if I ask anybody in this room what's a schwa, they'll probably ask me, what is she saying? And that's when I was learning to be a technical education secretarial teacher. It's shorthand. But now with our phones, who needs somebody to take things in shorthand, right? And so teachers have to be so dynamic in how they impart knowledge, because knowledge keeps changing, and so it is a task. It is a task, but the teachers are always up to it. And speaking of the data and capturing images, I have to advise you this morning that we are streaming, we are filming, and so if anyone has cause for concern that their image might be on a video or in a photo, I am obliged to say that we are recording and that by staying where you are, you have given us permission to use your image. Just making sure. So when social media come out, them say, Lord, me never tell my boss I wasn't going to be at work. Why Shortwood put me on this page? So if you're not supposed to be here, go on round at the back part. Now let them see you. Now we're going to hear the principal's address. It's my pleasure to invite Miss Nadine Malloy, JP, to share her vision and reflections as we embark on this milestone year. Please put your hands together for Miss Malloy. Now I'm jealous. Where were you when I was coming up?
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies, Delia Harris, my friend, for a number of years now. I want to thank you also for giving me permission to skip the protocol list. But of course, you know, I must acknowledge the presence of our minister, who's been doing a great job so far in the short time that she has been holding the office. I greet everyone well. I also want to publicly, and on this occasion, thank the Honorable Audrey Sewell, someone with whom I worked when I was president of the JTA, Mr. President, and doing all kinds of manner of things, and she was very tolerant and offered quite a bit of guidance from time to time for consenting to be our patron for this 140th anniversary. So we'll be seeing her here a lot. I think you're probably going to go on the run walk and the marathon and all those kinds of stuff. Looking forward to seeing you here. So I say good morning, everyone. It is an honor and a privilege to share with you today on these historic grounds where the story of Shortwood Teachers College has been written for well over a century. From its earliest days, this college has proven itself to be more than a place of study. It has been a cornerstone of national and regional development, preparing generations of educators who have shaped classrooms, communities, and indeed the very fabric of our society. We have branched out into every possible profession, taking with us the tremendous lessons learned here to make the needed mark. Dreams have become realities because of the lasting relationships formed and the wisdom that is as old as our sprawling guango trees. Indeed, we are today standing in the shadow of a very proud history. It is with this backdrop that I welcome all of you as enduring partners on this next leg of our journey, a continued rite of passage, if you will, that has been 140 years long shortly. A journey that has seen local studies on education languish to varying degrees. More recently, we are experiencing some movement on the Patterson Report. Admittedly, not enough yet. We still have work to do. The birth of a Vision 2030 for Jamaica, Mr. Stevenson. Jamaica, the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. And at my age, I like to add, retire. Which in many ways, it has been forgotten. And more recent studies coming out of UNESCO, such as the Global Report on Teachers, addressing the teacher shortages and the whole matter of transforming the profession. We can relate to that in a very real way here in Jamaica. And the United Nations Secretary General's high-level panel report on the teaching profession. They are largely not in our consciousness here in Jamaica as we go about this business of studenting, arguably to what end? What does this mean for Shortwood Teachers College as a leading institution in teacher training? What is our call to action, ladies and gentlemen? Currently, we are called upon to contemplate this global future of education with all its challenges, which I believe brings greater opportunities for unparalleled success. Shortwood's strategic response is that we're growing our college to meet the needs of our world by carefully curating all of our programs. Yes, but also advancing what may be termed the important frontiers of early childhood education, special needs education, and mathematics education. 3 pillars that we believe will ultimately determine the quality and equity of education for generations to come. Shortwood Teachers College intends to strengthen our place as the bastion of teacher training on the tripod of early childhood education. Herein, we are building on over a 31-year experience by seeking to invest in new facilities to develop best practices, homegrown and adapted from those we find worldwide, to grow this featured thrust on which the backbone of education anywhere in the world stands. Special needs education. For us, it is an emerging field here in Jamaica that can enable us to ensure that our differently abled youth are supported through cutting-edge technology and innovative approaches. Our intended mission in wanting to expand our horizons in this area is not only to help our challenged youths overcome, but to empower them to harness specialized tools and opportunities that can truly enrich their lives wherever they find themselves. This is a growing space with immense potential, and we are determined at Shortwood Teachers College to claim a bigger share of it, Minister. Mathematics education. The teaching and application of this discipline is germane to our daily lives. We can't divorce ourselves from math. Therefore, the fundamentals of teaching it well to all students cannot be ignored any longer. The Shortwood Teachers College is committed to advancing mastery in this discipline and to providing Jamaica with educators who are thoroughly equipped to have students achieve comprehensive understanding and effective application of knowledge. First, we make this commitment through the continuous development of our individual and collective expertise as lecturers, and then to those who are responsible for nurturing their practical and intellectual growth. This triumvirate, fulcrum, axis, if you will, must form the basis on which we move forward, a reborn, responsive, and different education system. Real learning must take place at all levels of our system. Shortwood is committed and welcomes partners and partnerships to improve this journey that we're on. We have also begun to contemplate the question of what role authentic or alternative assessment may play in meeting our students where they learned best. And I hasten to say, as lecturers, we are also students. All of this is exciting, cutting edge, and may very well, Minister, hold the answers that we need. Our faculty, our beloved faculty, are not only dedicated educators, but also scholars and emerging scholars, actively engaged in research and in tune with the latest global developments in education. They're actually presenting at international conferences from time to time. Research and scholarship that amplified effectively will hone and improve our craft as master teacher trainers. Our strategic aim is to reset the standard for education professionals to the highest ilk. We will be known for educators who embody both the mastery of their craft and a gentle, compassionate approach to the children entrusted in their care. A direct response to sometimes a too harsh world. At Shortwood Teachers College, education must take place in an environment that reflects the values that we espouse, and you see them behind me. That is why we are cultivating an even more environmentally sustainable campus, one that promotes wellness, balance, and innovation. Coming out of our strategic retreat, we included environmental stewardship, and so an easy way to remember it is CAPRIs. We are also drafting plans to aid in preserving our rich history by transforming our declared historic buildings into a mini heritage park, ensuring that our legacy is both honored and made accessible for future generations. This will be a living reminder that our future is always strengthened by acknowledging our roots. I want to acknowledge this morning the role of the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth, and Information in the critical direction that we must progress. Minister, we look forward to the impact that the promised projects, I understand $500 million each, will have on our infrastructure development. These will include our completed early childhood center, Mrs. Foster Allen is smiling, that was opened over 15 years ago. With the addition of special education facilities, it is so needed. Campus-wide, upgraded laboratory spaces, upgraded technology and support facilities, an upgraded library. I always make a plug for the library. I'm a librarian too. And recreational facilities. We need better spaces for our students to engage in and to enjoy campus life. And we believe all of these, amongst others, will round out the ideal college experience that we want for our students. Additionally, we recognize the role of our education support staff, administrative and ancillary staff. They do so much to keep us going, sometimes out of sight, but always critical to all that we do. So, ladies and gentlemen, Shortwood Teachers College remains at its heart a community of learners where increased collaboration and shared purpose will lift us all. We are proud of that and are committed to keeping this a place where knowledge is created, shared, and applied in service of and to our nation, Jamaica, and the wider world. As we honor the historical lessons learned and embrace the present and the unknown, yes, the unknown, we remain firmly committed to building a future defined by the pursuit of excellence, the practice of compassion, and strategic leadership in education. Today, Shortwood Teachers College stands poised to extend this legacy of excellence in education for another 140 years. Before I take my seat, I would like to invite the Honorable Audrey Sewell to join me at the front. And I see the registrar, a member of the board, holding a tray with a token that we're going to offer to Mrs. Sewell. I think we should do it down at the front. So thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Principal Malloy, for that inspiring. And listen, I said to somebody, I think yesterday I said it to Johnny on the radio, that Jamaica has just a kind of audacity about us. That in our pledge, we're saying, so that Jamaica may, but advance the welfare of the whole human race. You know how small we are as a country? You know how tiny we are. Like when people ask, how many people live in Jamaica? And you tell them say, huh? We have such an audacity about us that we feel that we can change the world. And how do we change it? But through education, skills, and information. This is where it all starts. So I just want to underscore the importance. All of us here today are here because of a teacher. Yes, we are. And if we're not here, it's because we never listen in class. So don't blame the teacher. But it's very, very important. You know what? The alumni is a big, big part of the success of any institution. And as I told you, my mom came to Shortwood, and so it has a special place for me because I know that as a young, brilliant girl in St. Mary, she got an opportunity to come to Shortwood. And that while she was here, it shaped her life. But that she got an opportunity as a young girl. It's because Jamaica sometimes, but I tell you, Jamaica provides some opportunities you can't get anywhere else in the world. And she got to come here. And she said to me the other day, Lord, nobody got to talk about. And I'll tell you what it is. She's going to kill me, but I can't come to deny it. So this is where a lot of her skills were also developed in everything, like Shortwood taught them everything. So she can sew, and she taught us all to sew. And she said one day, one of her classmates said to her, Lovelock, which is her maiden name, you think you're fooling everybody, but I know it's the same one skirt you have that you're changing it. Today it hobble, tomorrow it pleat, because she was poor, no? But she changed her skirt and she got to class every day. And she said, the girl said, you're poor and you're fooling people. So when she was done, I laughed and I said, Mommy is the dunce girl in the class, tell you that, don't. I said, so you don't realize that because you were so bright and beautiful, the only thing she could tell you was about your skirt? Me say, come man, we have to laugh at things like that. But it tells you that Shortwood provided, just a space for everyone in a home. So it's 140 years of greatness. Not to mention the stockings. I'm going to talk about that later. But when we talk about rules, now when I hear the conversation about schools and rules, you could have got teaching a class and you don't have on stockings. And your skirt have to be a certain length, and that's what I grew up and saw. So we have to return 140 years, but it still serves a purpose. So we have to get back to some of that. The strength, as I said, of any institution lies in the continued support of its graduates. So to bring greetings on behalf of the Alumni Association is Mrs. Elaine Ralston. Please make her feel welcome.
Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Wow. Look at Shortwood Teachers College at the lovely age of 140 years. Can you imagine with me for a moment the number of lives that this institution has impacted over these 140 years? Just cast your mind back for a while. In any institution, however, 140 years is a significant milestone. And we in the Alumni Association are happy to participate in these celebrations. They remind us of the great memories made here at Shortwood Teachers College, the strides we made, and the real personal achievements as we reflect on the journey. Shortwood Teachers College can celebrate its 140th anniversary because of the hard work and commitment of those on whose shoulders the current team stands. Foundation work is never easy. Actually, it's truly difficult. And on occasions like this, we owe it to those who came before us to recognize their contribution. These celebrations, while highlighting our progress, will enable the renewal of broken bonds and forge new relationships between generations of Shortwoodites. I just sat and spoke with Professor Roof, who told me she left here in, I think, 95. And another professor with whom I sat who said she left here in 99, and I smiled. And I said, I left here in 79. 1 year after my word, the senior, Mrs. Audrey Sewell. As we celebrate, we reminisce and recall our time here with pride, particularly the standards encouraged and the academic and behavioral paths to which, as young ladies, we had to adhere. We laud those days, and we salute many of the changes we currently observe here at Shortwood. The college has become a degree-granting institution and is collaborating with several tertiary institutions to provide a richer college experience for all its students. No longer can our principal refer to her group of students as ladies, not at all, because one of the biggest changes in the last 25 years was the addition of men to the student cohort. We welcome our brothers, and we know that they will do well in this noble institution. We want to have them feel a part of this great institution. And we know that because today's education system is in dire need of good male teachers, the best place for them to start is at Shortwood Teachers College. Additionally, we plan to encourage as many as possible of these male gentlemen. I don't want to tell you what I almost said. To participate in our alumni association, as we have just a few among our numbers. The selected theme, Embracing the Legacy, Repositioning for the Future, is quite appropriate for the 140th celebration. Shortwood's legacy is such a rich one. Our college encouraged us to aspire to and to maintain high standards, which consequently produced an outstanding cadre of women, with many taking their place in the pantheon of academic greats, not only here in Jamaica, but in the wider world. I should also underscore the fact that there's also a strong stream of Shortwoodites who flowed into other professions and are glistening on the top rung of those non-academic ladders. We see these ladies in corporate roles in finance. I have a batchmate who has been a stalwart at the Ministry of Finance for many years. We see these ladies as reverend ladies in church leadership. Several batchmates of mine are reverend, particularly in the Baptist Church. They are heads of unions, legislators in government, business leaders and owners. And let me not forget to underscore the fact that the first cabinet secretary in Jamaica is a Shortwoodite who is here with us this morning. Congratulations, Mrs. Sewell. Yeah, first female. First female. As Shorter Teachers College repositions itself for the future, it must continue to evolve into the premier teacher training institution in Jamaica. It must examine strategies to equip its students to meet the myriad of training styles and learning styles that excellent teachers must utilize. Additionally, Shortwood will have to increase its program offerings and commit to staying apace with the various emerging technologies that will enhance the teacher learning process. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of my 100-year-old Alumni Association, yes, this year we are celebrating 100 years. It is my pleasure to greet this gathering and to say congratulations to our alma mater on attaining 140 years of stellar service to the Jamaican education system and by extension to the world. Thanks to all those who served this college over these 140 years. The college could not be here without your input. Continued blessings on all the current students, the various staff members, and the leadership. Viva Shortwood. Long live Shortwood Teachers College. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Rolston. Listen, there was no cab sec for Mrs. Rolston until a Shortwoodite sat in that seat, you know. And they said, first female, and she said, yes, that's what I meant. Thank you so much for that. 100 years, what a legacy that the association themselves will be celebrating. So congratulations to you. I listened to her cadence. You can tell a teacher when they speak. Yes, you know, when I was growing up and my mom said, Daily, I said, Mia, come. She says, who is Mia and where does she live? Yes. I had a fascinating childhood. Now it's time for some music. We pause to be inspired with a performance from Miss Janelle Rounds and Deshaun Mackinson. And they'll be accompanied on piano by Mr. Floyd Casanova, who's a music lecturer here at Shortwood Teachers College. Put your hands together for them.
Buenos días a todos. Buenos días. Como un libro que no sabes el final y te asusta lo que lees, así la vida es. Cuando naces, ya te expones al dolor y de a poco y con valor logras crecer.
Y como un libro el corazón nos enseña que hay temor, que hay fracasos y maldad, que hay batallas que ganar.
En cada página el amor nos convierte en luchador y descubres lo común. No hay un héroe como tú.
Son muy pocos que se arriesgan por amor, pero tú tienes la fe y eso lo es todo. No te caigas, que vivir es aprender. No hay nada que temer si crees en ti.
Y como el libro el corazón nos enseña que hay temor, que hay fracasos y maldad, que hay batallas que ganar. En cada página el amor nos convierte en luchador y descubres lo común. No hay un héroe como tú. Solo Dios sabe dónde y cuándo la vida nos dirá lo has hecho bien.
Solo con un sueño solo sabrás
Cómo vencer. Hey, hey, como el libro el corazón nos enseña que hay temor, que hay fracasos y maldad, que hay batallas que ganar. En cada página el amor nos convierte en luchador y descubres lo común. No hay un héroe como tú. No hay un héroe como tú.
Español no es muy bueno, but I understood what they were singing. Es un poquito. Let's hear it one more time for Janelle and Deshawn. We now turn to one of the most symbolic aspects of today's launch, the anniversary plant ceremony. This act reminds us of our deep roots, our core values of collaboration, accountability, professionalism, respect, integrity, and environmental stewardship, and of course, our vision for a flourishing future. Leading this special moment will be our narrators, senior lecturers, Mrs. Rochelle Harris, had to be a Harris, Mrs. Rochelle Harris Burrell, I have to add the Burrell, and Mrs. Colleen Elliott Norman. And joining them in this activity will be the Honorable Audrey Sewell, distinguished alum of this institution, Chairman Mr. Grantley Stevenson, our principal, Ms. Nadine Malloy, and our current student at Shortwood Teachers College, Mr. Taj Alexander. Mrs. Burrell and Mrs. Norman.
Good morning, everyone. All right, our lovely MC had established the protocol, so we will proceed. Thank you. Can you hear me? Good. Today, we come together to begin the celebration of 140 years of shaping minds, building leaders, and nurturing a legacy that continues to grow. This planting is more than a ceremonial act. It is a living pledge to embrace the legacy, repositioning for the future. Our story has been one of resilience, endurance, and growth. Like this plant, Dracaena trifasciata, otherwise known as the snake plant, steadfast in all conditions, renewing the air it breathes, and ever reaching upward. We too are rooted in strong legacy. Its upright leaves remind us of vision and progress. Its longevity speaks to our heritage that has stood the test of time. As we embrace the legacy of the past, we reposition the same adaptability and vitality, ready to purify, renew, and shape a flourishing future.
There are some key features of the snake plant as we know it: resilience and hardness. It survives in tough conditions, whether it be low light, little water, or poor soil. It symbolizes endurance, strength, and the ability to thrive despite challenges. Longevity. It represents lasting legacy, continuity, and stability, known to live for many years with minimal care. Adaptability. It symbolizes flexibility, repositioning, and growth in new environments. It can flourish both indoors and outdoors in varying climates. Vertical growth. Its upright leaves reach upward, strong and steady. It represents aspiration, vision, and progress toward the future.
I now have our participants. Ms. Audrey Sewell, Ms. Malloy, our principal, the board chair, Mr. Grantley Stevenson, and our student, Taj Alexander. Starting, we have Ms. Audrey Sewell, Mrs. Audrey Sewell. All right, you may take your sand or your soil and get ready to pour. You may begin. This plant honors our past 140 years of faith, courage, and unwavering dedication. Lovely. We now invite Ms. Malloy and Mr. Grantley Stevenson. You may begin. This plant represents our future, a vibrant community built on collaboration and respect. And our student, Taj Alexander, you may begin. This plant embodies our future, one rooted in integrity, professionalism, and a care for the world we share.
As these plants take root, they remind us of our own roots, grounded in collaboration, accountability, professionalism, respect, integrity, and environmental stewardship. These values have guided us for generations and will continue to nourish the next 140 years of Shortwood Teachers College. Each leaf will whisper the stories of those who paved the way, our founders, leaders, staff, and students. The leaves will stretch towards the future we are boldly creating, one innovation, growth, and renewed purpose.
You may join us in reading what is projected on the screen. You may begin reading. May these plants thrive as our legacy thrives, deeply rooted, resilient, and ever-growing. May they stand as living reminders of our commitment to excellence and to each other. Like these roots, we will remain steadfast. Like these branches, we will reach as we reposition for the future. Thank you.
I'm excited 100 years from now when they tell the story of this plant and how it came to being. And the snake plant, trust me, quite resilient. It survived my brown thumb, it will survive anything. So thank you once again, everyone, for participating in that. Now, you know it's a special morning because September is such a busy time for the Minister of Education. And the fact that she's here underscores just how much value she places on a moment like this. And so it's my privilege to invite Senior Lecturer Mr. Nigel Webb, who will introduce our keynote speaker. He's going to get some help. You're just accompanying him. Mr. Webb, them think you're going to get lost between there.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank my Master of Ceremony for setting the protocol that will enable me to go directly into the introduction of our keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Dania Morris-Dixon, is an educator at heart, a proud Jamaican who has distinguished herself in both the public and private sectors. A former student of Campion College, and Dr. Dania Morris-Dixon is also the 2004 Fulbright Scholar and an alum of the University of the West Indies. At the University of the West Indies, Dr. Morris-Dixon completed her bachelor's in economics with first-class honors, her master's in government with distinction, and this just concretized that she is fully bright. She's also a graduate of the Joseph Corbell School of International Studies, where she completed her PhD in International Studies, as well as the executive program of the Harvard Business School. Dr. Morris started her career as an academic at the University of the West Indies, where she taught several undergraduate and graduate levels. During her tenure at the University of the West Indies, she also worked on the Jamaica Economy Project, which has led to the successful project called the Caribbean Policy Research Institute. In May 2023, Dr. Morris was appointed Senator and Cabinet Minister with responsibility for skills and digital transformation portfolios in the Office of the Prime Minister. This appointment was short-lived, however, as in October 2024, she was named as the Minister of Education, Skills, Youth, and Information. She has served as a senior executive of the Jamaica National Group, where she executed numerous large-scale strategic projects in Jamaica and in core diaspora markets of the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and the Cayman Islands. While on secondment from the Jamaica National Group to the Bank of Jamaica, she also successfully led the completion of the National Risk Assessment for Jamaica in 2021. This is a key component of Jamaica's anti-money laundering framework. Dr. Dania Morris-Dixon is fiercely committed to the advancement of women on boards and in politics, and is very committed to the educational advancement of children in Jamaica. In this regard, she has served on numerous boards and committees in the areas including the Jamaica Education Transformation Commission, the Archdiocese of Kingston Education Commission, and the International Women's Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and give a warm Shortwood welcome to Dr. Dana Morris Dixon.
Good morning, everyone. That was a long introduction. But, I'm feeling very pained because I was taught never to omit the acknowledgements. But when Delia tells you to do something, you do it. So I'm just going to say good morning to all distinguished individuals in the audience today. Now, I don't usually go to media launches, because I always think in Jamaica we do a lot of launches and I like to go to the actual events. But I made an exception today. And I made that exception because I got a call from Miss Nadine Malloy. And when she calls, because she's one of the most exemplary people we have in our education system, you have to say yes. And so I am here because she called me and said, you have to be here. And 140 years is not something simple. You really want to be there to support that. And so it is an honor to join you today for this very momentous occasion. Not every day you get the opportunity to join an institution in a moment to acknowledge its 140th anniversary. Today is really a national milestone. It's not just for Shortwood, it's for our entire country. Shortwood Teachers College has stood at the heart of Jamaica's educational journey, an institution that for well over a century has trained the women and men who shape the very soul of our nation, and that is our teachers. For 140 years, Shortwood Teachers College has been producing the leaders of our classrooms and by extension, the leaders of our society. Every parish, every town, every community can point to a teacher trained at Shortwood who shaped lives, lifted homes, and instilled discipline and purpose in our youth. Your graduates have been more than educators. They have been nation builders, cultural stewards, and social pioneers. You have carried knowledge as a torch that lights the path of opportunity. And when you look at the many persons who've come through these doors, there's so many. You can only, you don't want to name any, but I'm going to name a few. Mary Morris Knibb. She was the first woman to contest a seat in the House of Representatives following the granting of universal adult suffrage to all Jamaicans. She established the Morris Knibb Preparatory School and donated a building that now serves as the headquarters of the Moravian Church in Jamaica, as well as land for a community center. She later won a seat on the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation. There's also Edith Dalton James, a distinguished Jamaican educator and politician, and in 1949 became the first woman to serve as president of the Jamaica Union of Teachers. We also have with us someone who I admire so much, the Honorable Audrey Sewell, our Cabinet Secretary and Head of the Public Service, under whose distinguished patronage we gather here today. And of course, she's the first female Cabinet Secretary, and she's just extraordinary at it. And you can tell she's a Shortwoodite. Not only is she absolutely brilliant, and she keeps all of us in the cabinet in line, she also is one of the most nurturing people you can find. And I know for young cabinet members like me, when you go in, you're not sure what to do, where to go, what are the real rules. And she has spent so much time helping me along the way. If I do anything good, it's because Audrey Sewell has been able to train me very well in being a cabinet minister. And so I have to acknowledge her as one of those leading Shortwoodites. And there's one more that I'll mention. She had a great week last week. Rhoda Moy Crawford, new MP. She's one of them that shows the tenacity and the poise of a Shortwoodite. And she tells me she was the head of the student council in 2008. And so there's so many persons who've come through this, and I'm just naming those, but there's so many others that we could recognize. And that's why I say that today is a celebration, and this entire year will be a celebration for Jamaica, not just Shortwood Teachers College. So the legacy and countless of these women and others were beautifully represented in that planting ceremony. The snake plant that was chosen, it was chosen with intention. And as you heard, it's no ordinary symbol. And so I say kudos to the selection team. As you know, they thrive in difficult conditions. When I was younger and I had this dream of being a really good gardener, I didn't know anything. And the only thing that would survive for me was the snake plant. But over time, you know, as I would nurture my little snake plant, I didn't need too much nurturing. It allowed me the confidence to do other plants. And now I have tons of orchids and I'm good at it. But I started not knowing how to do anything. And that snake plant helped me to grow in my own confidence as a gardener. And so it's a beautiful symbol. And as we think about today, we think about progress, resilience, and determination to reach higher. And that's what that plant is about. And it's about Shortwood's story, which is one of rootedness, adaptability, and unwavering growth despite the conditions you are placed in. There's an enduring truth, though, that no education system can rise above the quality of its teachers. And so, when we speak of Jamaica's development, Mr. Malava, when we speak of our historic low poverty, of advancing technology, of building a globally competitive economy, consistent economic growth, low unemployment rate, at the root of all of that stands the teacher. Teachers are transmitters of knowledge. They're architects of character. They're the ones who teach our children discipline, values, resilience, and creativity. And on the matter of discipline, because we've been talking about that a lot in Jamaica, we have to stand with our schools and our principals on this matter of discipline. And I say all the time, our school environment has changed. School is not like when I went to school or you went to school. It is very different. We have our children coming to school from homes where nobody cares to teach them how to be a good citizen. Nobody cares to instill discipline in them. They're not getting it in the home. They're not getting it in the community. Our schools have become something different. Our teachers are becoming the parents. Our teachers are often not just the guidance counselor, but they're taking on the role that the family should have taken on. It is not easy being in our schools or in our classrooms. It's very difficult. Our classrooms have to be seen as places of re-socialization because our children are not learning it at home. And so we have to be strong. We have to instill discipline. The vision we have for Jamaica, and a vision that I know can be a reality, will not happen if we do not instill discipline in our children. And so, as we talk about rules, we have to understand that the Jamaica that's going to be a beacon in this world is going to have to be one rooted in discipline. And of course, that does not mean that there are not rules around which we administer discipline. That's very important. Very important, because our children also need to be valued and our children need to be kept safe. But at the heart of it, and as Minister of Education up to today, I'm telling you that my focus is on having disciplined school environments. Now, having said that, our teachers prepare our young people to seize opportunities and to overcome obstacles. They are the silent hands that guide the next leaders, innovators, and citizens of Jamaica. The teaching profession has not always been given the recognition and support it deserves. We have doubled down on our commitment, though, to teachers, and the government of Jamaica, not just the Ministry of Education, has made a deliberate and determined choice to place teachers at the very heart of our education transformation agenda. We recognize that when teachers succeed, Jamaica succeeds. We know that teaching is not an easy vocation at all. Having been one, having been stressed out every day when I went to class, it demands patience, strength, compassion, and stamina. That is why we're implementing the Teacher Wellness Program. And this is very important. It's a comprehensive initiative that we're starting to work through to safeguard the health and well-being of our educators. It will include health resources, physical wellness activities, support systems, so that no teacher feels alone in the face of challenges, the challenges of the day. We have also made clear commitments to upgrade staff rooms. And I have seen this. I've been around to a lot of schools, and you go in the staff room and you're so hot in there. Our teachers who are doing so much for us, they need to be in a better environment. And so in our subsequent budgets, we're going to put aside money specifically for the staff rooms, for the comfort of our teachers. We're also investing in the expertise of our teachers. A whole pillar of the Patterson report is dedicated to teachers. And that's pillar 4, which looks at teaching curriculum and teacher training. And that's why we have to put the money into our teachers' colleges. As we're doing all this nice technology in our classrooms, which we have to continue, we have to make sure that in our teachers' college, the technology is even better. Because if we are going to have teachers that we want to use the technology going forward in our classrooms, they have to learn it somewhere. And it has to be integrated in the teachers' college. So that's a very important area for us. In addition to that, special education is very, very important. And Shortwood Teachers College is at the forefront of that. They led last year, or it could have been earlier this year, I don't remember, my months run into each other, but recently the Shortwood Teachers College had their symposium on special education. They see themselves as leaders in this, and I am very supportive of this institution on that thrust, because in the ministry and the government in general, we have committed to providing full scholarships for special educators, recognizing the urgent need to build capacity in special education and inclusion. Every single teacher is on track to become a teacher of a special needs child. That's the reality. The number of special needs children is rising in Jamaica and around the world, and it will continue to do so. Every child, no matter their abilities or disabilities, deserves a teacher who is trained and ready to help them to thrive. A teacher is a person beyond the classroom, though. They have hopes and dreams like everyone else. A teacher who is stable and secure at home is better able to give their best in the classroom. And it's for that reason that, based on the JTA's request, that we look at NHT. Can we have a better benefit for teachers? And we even went further than what the JTA had asked. And we have agreed that we will have any teacher who's been in the system for 5 years will get a 1% reduction on their NHT loan, the rate for their NHT loan. And if you've been there for 10 years, you get a 2% reduction. We already know NHT rates are already low. So any teacher for 5 years, if after 5 years, you get a 1% reduction. After 10 years, there's a 2% reduction in the rate of interest. And that is very important. And this policy unlocks easier access to home ownership, because for us, We want to ensure that teachers, like our nurses and members of the security forces, are prioritized in building a foundation of dignity and stability. Teaching must also continue to be a profession of growth for all. And that's why we're diversifying the field. And one of the things we're going to be working on is a male teacher recruitment initiative. How do we get more men in our schools? And that's in conjunction with our focus on education for boys. Because the reality is, when I look at the numbers, every time the results come out for any exam, the girls are way ahead of our boys. And it doesn't make me happy at all. I want to see our boys thriving. And so we have to do a lot of work, and I hope at Shortwood Teachers College you'll work with us to figure out where are we going wrong in educating our boys. So we have the education of our boys, and we need to recruit more male teachers into the system, and we're going to be working on that. In addition to that, professional development, we're going to focus heavily there, continue to focus there. Teachers will have more opportunities for reskilling, digital literacy training, and certification to keep them abreast of new technologies, new pedagogical approaches, and global best practices. And one of the things I'll say to Jamaica is when we have these professional development programs, our teachers go. Our teachers in Jamaica are very interested in being the best they can be. And so I know as we roll out the programs, we will not have any issues with our teachers participating because they've shown time and time again that they want to be at the best of their craft. We also recognize that teachers can only do so much without the right tools. And that's why we have to continue that investment in modernizing our classroom. So those are just a few of the things that we're doing. There are many more that we're doing to transform the education system. No teacher should ever feel left behind in this rapidly changing education landscape. And that's where Shortwood Teachers College comes in. We need you to be an important partner in this process of transformation. To the teachers of Shortwood, past and present, I encourage you to embrace these policies, to see them as tools to advance your careers, enrich your classrooms, and strengthen your impact. To the students training here today, you are the next generation of educators. What a time to be a Shortwoodite. Times of change are really great times to be in an institution of learning. You've inherited a proud 140-year legacy, and you're poised to be empowered with new opportunities to attain greater heights. And I want you to always remember the names of those others who've gone before you, who've done big things. When you leave this institution, it is expected that you too will do big things in your life. With that 140-year strong legacy comes great responsibility. You have a big responsibility to innovate, to lead, and to adapt to the demands of a new era. The world is changing big time. What we see today will not be what we see 10 years from now. And so we are going to have to be very adaptive, very resilient, like that snake plant, because we don't know how even the teaching of education will have to change. We are learning as we go along, so we have to be adaptive. The jobs of today are not going to be the same of the future. And what our children need, the skills they need for the future, that's changing, and we have to change too. So Miss Malloy, one of my favorite people, principal, and the Shortwood leadership, I urge you to pivot boldly, to become a champion of Education 2.0, which is what we don't even know. It's not written on paper. We're going to have to write it. Yesterday, in the New York Times, I don't know if you saw it, but there was an article that the headline was, "Reading skills of 12th graders in the US hit a new low." The sub of it said, high school seniors had the worst reading scores since 1992 on a national test. a loss probably related to increases in screen time and the pandemic. The math scores also fell. That is in the United States of America. They're having a reading crisis and they're having a maths crisis. In Jamaica, I know even though we're little, we can lead the way. We've already started interventions in reading in Jamaica because we understand the pandemic was really hard. And in a country where we understand the issues, we have institutions like Shortwood Teachers College, we have teachers who are so committed. There is no reason that we cannot show to the rest of the world what coming out of COVID can look like. There's no reason that we can't be the benchmark for other countries in terms of educating our children for a changing world. The reality is, with the screens and with the learning losses from the pandemic where, they didn't learn how to socialize early and learn important skills, we are going to have to do things differently. And I believe we can. We are seeing some of the success of the initiatives we've tried. There's a lot more to do, but we as Jamaicans have to see ourselves as leaders on this journey to take our children to that future state. When I heard the Prime Minister say that his goal is to make Jamaica look like the Singapore of this region, I think it can happen. But it's going to happen only if we get education right. And in order to do that, we're going to have to flex and be leaders in this world. Some of the things we're going to do, nobody else is going to be doing it because it's not been written yet. And that's where I want Shortwood Teachers College to be. That's where I want all of our teachers' colleges to be, where we're writing the history, not just of Jamaica, but of the world. And so as I leave you this morning, I want to say to you, continue to lead the way in pedagogical innovation, teacher preparation, and the integration of technology. And as we mark this 140th anniversary, remember that the story of Shortwood Teachers College is inseparable from the story of Jamaica. For every milestone in our nation's development, there was a teacher who first lit and nurtured the flame of possibility. The government of Jamaica remains resolute in this commitment to educators. As you continue to nurture Jamaica's children, this government will continue to nurture and support you. Thank you, and may God bless Shortwood Teachers College, our teachers, and Jamaica land we love. Thank you.
Can we hear it one more time for Minister of Education? Thank you so much, ma'am. And we heard quite a bit in terms of a commitment to educator wellness, in terms of advancement in technology, in terms of how we value education, in terms of the importance of education to our society, in crafting discipline and engendering a society of love. So once again, let's hear it for our keynote speaker. Continuing in the spirit of inspiration, we'll now hear a presentation from our Student Association Executive President, Ms. Ariel Kelligan.
Ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. It is both a privilege and a profound honor to extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. Dana Morris Dixon for her presence and contribution to this momentous occasion, the media launch of our 140th anniversary celebration. Dr. Morris Dixon Your thoughtful reflections and visionary insights have added immeasurable value to our commemoration as we embrace the theme, embracing the legacy, repositioning for the future. Your words have served as a clarion call, reminding us that legacy is not merely a reflection of the past, but a foundation upon which we must boldly build the future. We are deeply appreciative of the time you have taken to be with us and for the inspiration you have so graciously shared. On behalf of the entire Shortwood Teachers College family, as a token of our appreciation, I am pleased to present you with this gift basket. May it serve as a small but heartfelt expression of our gratitude and esteem.
Thank you very much, Ariel. Can we hear it one more time for her? Are you excited about the 140th? Yes, I mean 140 years is so much to celebrate and so many things will happen. We're going to be hearing about those activities in a short while, but before that, we invite you on a visual journey as we showcase a special video presentation. So ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the screens.
For 140 years, Shortwood Teachers College has stood as a proud cornerstone of education in Jamaica, shaping leaders, preserving traditions, and building a legacy of excellence. Today, we are not just reflecting on the past, we are reimagining the future. Our learning spaces are being transformed with modern equipment to position us as a leader in tech-enabled education.
At Shortwood Teachers College, we are repositioning ourselves to be the ultimate teacher training college in the Caribbean with all of the disciplines and subject areas that we cover. We want to make sure that our teachers continue to be in demand wherever they go. And of course, with that in mind, we want to also invite all our partners, our would-be partners out there, to consider coming on board with Shortwood Teachers College, because we want to ensure that our contribution to nation building, our contribution to building this region is par excellence. It's second to none. So take that away with you. We are about growth and enlightenment, and every single day we are recommitting to that.
As an environmental steward, this has taught me how to go green and stay clean. This is something that can help us to have a better Jamaica.
We are repositioning
At Shortwood Teachers College, we consider ourselves an environmentally friendly campus. And so we are creating spaces where our students, our staff, can learn and work in a relaxed atmosphere.
This Wellness Park is one such space, and we'll be creating many more spaces because we want our students and our staff to work and study in a space that is conducive to be relaxed.
Shortwood Teachers College, embracing the legacy, repositioning for the future.
Embracing our legacy, igniting the flame. We're building a foundation for the future we aim. 140 years long, legacy alive and strong. Still building up the nation, embracing our legacy, igniting the flame. Come on everyone, come and listen this one. Best teacher training institute in the nation. Clap your hand, still standing strong on this majestic journey. We're working hand in hand, we're building for the future. So let's join hands, celebrate the Shortwood legacy. Embracing our legacy, igniting the flame. We're building a foundation for the future we aim. 140 years long, legacy alive and strong. Still building up the nation, embracing our legacy, igniting the flame. Come on everyone, come and listen this one.
Now we all have to get the lyrics to the song, right? Yes, I love it. Don't you love it? I do. We have to be able to sing along. Well, we've been talking about the celebration all morning, and at the heartbeat lies the many events planned for the year ahead. To present the schedule of activities, please welcome Miss Rochelle Williams, Chair of the 140th Anniversary Committee, and Dr. Janet A. Williams, Director of Marketing and Communications.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We stand on the protocols already established. I trust that you've been having a wonderful time, haven't you? And so the celebration continues. On Monday, September 22, we will launch the beginning of what we call Founders Week celebrations. And this will begin on the Pui lawn with a flag-raising ceremony led by a cadet corps. On Tuesday, September 23, we will have Alumni Invasion. And what is this, you may ask? Well, this is a special day set aside where we've invited many of our alum to come to the institution for tours and lunch hour concert, which will be held in the main dining room. September 24, STC Day, and this day we will be wearing our branded Shortwood merch. And the day culminates with a street parade. Woo! September 25, we will have on the lawns adjacent to this hall, Open Day 2025. This will start at 9 a.m. and end at 12 noon. We've invited a number of secondary institutions, and we'll be showcasing what we have been doing here at Shortwood Teachers College. And the day culminates with Norma Darlington Lecture, held here in the Marjorie Myers Hall, at 2 p.m. And Professor Vereen Shepard will be our keynote for this occasion. September 26th, drum roll, for the launch of our community project. And so we believe in giving back, and we have had relationships with the practicing school. In fact, after the formalities here, when you step to the back, you can read about the history of Shortwood Practicing School and the role it plays here. And so we're going to go back to our roots and launch our project with them. More details to follow. Student activity, September 27. Paint, sip, and of course, celebrate, because it is the day before the official birthday of this noble institution. We start off with Thanksgiving service right here in Marjorie Myers Hall. And all of you, yes, are invited. Please do turn out. We are expecting you, and you would have gotten this notification already. The day, the birthday celebration, because we know Shortwood turns 140 on September 28. And we ended the day with our fundraiser luncheon. Tickets are on sale at $7,500. And I expect that all our guests, specially invited guests here, will be purchasing their tickets today, right? Yes. In addition to these activities in September, you see September is very loaded, fully loaded. We will have our inaugural induction ceremony here in the Marjorie Myers Hall. And of course, a very special feature for us is the launch of our digital archives. We believe in embracing the legacy, and so we have worked very hard in reimagining our Shortwood mascot. I'm sorry, should be on screen, Wizzy. And Wizzy will journey us through the archives that will be later established in the Pear Tree Cafe. So let me give you a little teaser to that.
Hello, Shortwood family and friends. I'm Wizzy, your mascot and guide to our 140-year story. Join me in the digital archives as we explore treasures like the stables once died to Sir Henry Morgan, and discover how our campus grew from the historic Constant Spring estate. Let's honor our past and shape our future.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rochelle. Shortwood is about the experience. And your being here today really has added that finesse on the icing of the cake that we really need to embrace, preserve. But of course, all of this could not have happened without you, in particular, and some special people who have worked in front of and behind the scenes. Rochelle, I know you don't want me to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway, and we can sort it out after. Special acknowledgement to our chair of this 140th anniversary committee. Thank you so much. Of course, to all of you, the participants here in the program, and the special invited guest, we just want to thank you. To the management and staff of the college, a special thank you. Musicians, we always need that musical touch. Thank you so much. To New Insight Event Services, Emerge Multimedia, True Image Productions, Lucid Arts Creative Company, our Food Services Department here at Shortwood Teachers College, the hospitality team led by Mrs. Janice Beckford and Dr. Melissa Gale, Breakthrough Communications, SCA Marketing and Communications, and members of the media. And just in case I've missed out anyone, I hate calling names, I just want to thank you. So thank you all for such a wonderful experience today. So do have a beautiful day as we continue toward the very end of the program. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, ladies. All that's left for me to say is please stay tuned to all the activities. Come out, celebrate, participate, bring your friends, bring your family. 140 is a true milestone, and it deserves to be celebrated. We close. Before we do, I want you to know that you're invited to join us to the back of the hall. We have light refreshments. Want to do some networking? There's some folks we probably haven't seen in a while, and we want to say hello. And we have a special historical walk across the campus. Members of the media are also welcome to engage with our speakers, participants, find out more. And thank you. May we all continue to carry the Shortwood legacy forward. But before we go, what would this function be without the song? So as we celebrate our proud tradition, please lift your voices together for the college song.